What up, stackers? I hope everyone is doing well out there. This is the Philly Stacker, welcoming you back to the sandbox. Here in Philadelphia, we're getting a little relief. The temperature is above freezing. The last few days has just been windy and cold, wind chill, minus 13 degrees some days, and it's just been frustrating, especially for a budget stacker, a guy on a budget. The snow is costing me money. I can't ride my scooter because we have piles of snow in the street, people fighting over parking spots, people shooting each other over parking spots. It's just getting frustrating. I've had to take public transportation, and you're out there in 13-degree wind chill weather, and the bus doesn't show up. Then you got to spend money on $25 on getting an Uber. The weather is definitely taking a toll on my finances and budgeting, and SEPTA, our public transportation, is not helping. Our public transportation system in Philadelphia is dystopian, to say the least. You need a pew-pew just to ride the subway nowadays. All the trains smell like weed and piss. People just light up a blunt right in, while people are going to work. A car full of people. It's crazy. A few months ago, SEPTA went on strike because they're broke. Or not strike, but they cut a lot of the routes out. One of them was mine to work. I ended up buying a scooter, which was the best decision of my life. Cut down the cost of getting to work and have a lot more freedom. And no wonder they're running out of money. Nowadays, I would say at least a quarter of the people don't even pay. They just walk straight on the bus. I've stopped paying unless I'm confronted. I feel like an idiot for paying, while most people don't. And at one of the major stops, Center City, Philadelphia, people are being shot and robbed at alarming rates. Some followers have been asking me to recommend some books. So here's one for you. The book is called Atlas Shrugged, written by Rant. And this statue that you see off in here, the book is fictional, but it's far from fictional. This statue right here you see often in my videos, this is Atlas, and the book explores what happens when the producers, the people holding up the world, shrug and they cast off their responsibility. What happens to the world then? I came across this book because I noticed that a lot of successful people have read it and they talk about it. I used to work for a lot of small companies, successful business owners who built their own businesses, and I noticed a lot of them have read it. I used to do a lot of traveling my younger days for work. Had the company car, gold card, all that, taking people out to dinner, drinks, all that stuff. And so I mingled with a lot of successful people, millionaires, you name it. This thing is like the book of all books. If you look at it, see the thickness. It is over 1,000 words. You can see the print is small on each page. It is a beast of a book. I'm just starting to reread this again. I read it once years ago, back when I was in my addiction. Now that I'm getting my life in order and I'm starting to build wealth, I wanted to reread this, and especially with everything that's going on in the world today. The author is Ayn Rand. She's a controversial figure. I mean, she kind of has her own philosophy / ideology, and it's rooted in altruism. in this book, like, she has one of the best descriptions of what money is. She was born in Russia, and as a child she escaped communist Russia to come to the United States. And she wrote a book about it, about how, you know, she saw Russia collapse, how all the people who produced were, you know, basically devoured by the leeches of society. And the book examines that what happens when the people who produce stop producing. What happens to society then? It also deals with bureaucracy, and if you look in the headlines, like Elon Musk, he would be like one of the movers of the world. He invents stuff and, you know, keeps the world moving, while other people try to leech off him and limit him. In this book, like I said, it's fiction, but it's based on a lot of reality. One of the guys in here would be, you know, modeled after Andrew Carnegie, things of that nature. For me, it helped me identify the players in the game, what motivates them. And so it's been a very life-changing book for me. It kind of goes along with the my rant earlier about public transportation. Everything is deteriorating. And, you know, people like me, like, I'm not paying unless I'm confronted now. So I'm like withdrawing from society, even at work. Like, I just do the minimum effort not to get fired nowadays. And, you know, it's like, what happens when everyone starts doing that at once? And so, like, all the producers, they all get together and they leave society and they start rebuilding society somewhere else, and people are left with all the repercussions. So, like I said, a lot of wealthy people read this book. So if you follow me at all, you know that since January, when silver exploded past 100, I kind of been slowing down my stacking. But I believe in, you know, consistency, and, you know, small effort over time turns into something, you know, big, the snowball effect. So each week I pick up a state quarter and I pick up a Merc dime. And so we're in the second week of February. So I got few pickups here. Picked myself up another state quarter and another Mercury dime. I'd like to say the inch is easy, the yard is hard. Little by little, it adds up. It wasn't that long ago, January 1st, I started with my first quarter and my first dime. Today's pickup is the British surrender of 1777, Saratoga. And I also picked up a 1937 S Mercury dime. Pretty cool. And another book I highly recommend is The Richest Man in Babylon. And for me, it put me in a position where I could begin to invest. Inside it, it has the 7 cures for a lean purse. The Richest Man in Babylon is a story of Arcad. Shares the 7 cures for a lean purse through parables, teaching timeless principles of wealth building in ancient Babylon. These cures emphasize discipline, saving, and wise money management over get-rich-quick schemes. So the first rule to start thy purse to fattening is save at least 1/10 of all earnings before spending on anything else. This pay yourself first habit builds the foundation of wealth by accumulating capital steadily. And that's what I'm trying to do here. I save more than 10% of all I make. But at the same time, I have a couple different pots, I guess, that I pour into. I have precious metals, I have crypto, I have stocks. I'm creating a cash position. So each week, I take, it recommends 10%. I take more and I invest that each week across the 4 different piles that I have. Before I pay any bills or spend any money, that 10% goes into investing. Now, the second rule to start thy purse to fattening is control the expenditures. Live within your means by budgeting the remaining 90% wisely, distinguishing needs from desires to avoid unnecessary debt or waste. So I've been working on that. I got the first 2 down. I've controlled my expenditures. I live below my means. I take that excess and I invest it. The third rule is make the gold multiply. Invest your savings in profitable ventures that generate returns, like lending or businesses, allowing money to work for you through compounding. I've been investing, doing a lot of reading, getting an education, and Warren Buffett said this, if you do not learn how to make money while you sleep, you'll work to the day you die. And so that's what drives me, to learn how to make money while I sleep. And I'm beginning to. I'm beginning to get results. What little I do have is multiplying. The fourth is guard thy treasures from loss. Protect investments by seeking advice from experts and avoiding risky or unfamiliar schemes, ensuring safety over speculation. The next step would be make of thy dwelling a profitable investment. Own your own home rather than rent, as it builds equity and provides long-term security, turning a necessity into an asset. Now, if I ever own my own house, I don't know at my stage, but I'm actually looking at small property, like a small lot or maybe a garage to rent out in the future. Who knows? I might end up owning property after all, but I don't know if that's steps for me, at least not yet. The next step is ensure a future income. Plan ahead for retirement, family needs, and old age by creating income streams such as annuities or reserves to maintain financial independence. So I'm trying to get different revenue streams. Now, YouTube, I do just because I want to keep a video diary and just a video diary of my progress, and hopefully someone in my family, if I am successful, can get something out of this in the future. The Richest Man in Babylon, is a story of Arkad's own rise from poverty. It promotes sustainable wealth through constant action, and that's what I'm attempting to do by, each week picking up my state quarters and the Merc dimes. I'm just trying to be consistent, just keep, disciplined. Recently, I've been balancing my portfolio, and it's amazing how far I've come to see the progress. And I remember, getting my first ounce of silver, and how that has grown into a pile of silver. I'm moving out of a poverty mindset into an abundant mindset. I don't stress as much as I used to. Something happens, I have an emergency fund to cover it. I was just watching a thing, most people can't cover a $500 emergency without using credit or borrowing. And I'm in a position where I can handle that easily now. I've begun to make things easier on myself by automating my bills and payments. One bill I just got under control, my Comcast bill, and paid it off, and now I put it on auto pay, so now I can avoid the late charge. My bank's down the street now, so I got 2 bank accounts. One's down the street, so I can avoid ATM fees. And like I said, so out of my check, my 401k is automated. My investments in the stocks automated, and the crypto's automated. The only thing that's not automated is silver, but I enjoy handling that myself. If I could do this, anyone can do this. I just want to be an encouragement to the budget stackers out there, people who might just be starting, people rebuilding their lives. Like I said, if I could do it, you guys could do it. This is the Philly Stacker, just sharing his weekly pickups. Keep stacking, keep learning, and I'm out. Until the next one.